what we had to do in our personal lives, like with family or whatnot, because it was him and I. Our daughter is going to be, she's 2.5. So it was up until 2.5 years ago, like even up until the day right before I had Italia, like it was just go, 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 go. We've never had a problem with that. So, which I think is a big part of why we're successful. But I mean, I don't know. We don't really fight that much. Sometimes he gets on my nerves, but that's normal.
That's normal.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes she kicks me out of the room and I stay on the couch. But I think that's normal. We get in fights. We argue all the time, but we're happy all the time. And I study a lot of mentors, and I noticed that two in particular, they're my two mentors, because I have two mentors. Their wife works with them. They work in the same business. They work together. They open a business together. And one of the most important things that I recommend to any guy or girl is to find the right partner. And I found the right partner, but I had to go through thousands of dates. Yeah, I'm being serious. Like
justifying.
Yeah,
like, come on.
Thousands of dates. And I found the right one, and she was the first girl that would tell me, yes, let's go to the gym. Yes, let's go to the office. Yes, let's go work. Yes, let's go do an open house. She didn't even know what an open house was, but she would go with me. Yes, let's do this. And I would tell her, hey, you know what? Let's go to the beach and just tan and drink. Let's go. She was just like, yes to everything.
Yes.
And I've never met somebody that works close to as hard as me. And it happens to be my wife. Like, we have competitions where she wants to go, and we're like having the competition who's going to stay at the office the longest.
Last night,
and I mean, she never beats me in that department. But she comes close. Like, she's pregnant, and she's like the last one in the office. And she works really hard. So I found the right woman.
That's so, and partner.
Yeah.
I mean, so she covers both.
Yeah,
both areas. That's awesome.
She's my best friend. So sometimes people ask me, like, people go out and they cheat on their wives, and I'm like, well, why do you do that? Like, she's my best friend. So when I think about it, I'm like, why would I hurt my best friend? I wouldn't. So that's why. Why would I have my phone? You know, a lot of people, they put their phones backwards, or they have passwords. Like, she knows my password, and yeah, and we're
right.
I just believe really big on ethics. So like, it's once you focus and you have a purpose and you stick to it, nothing can stop you, because I don't have any dark areas. Like I did in the past, but now I don't have anything to worry about.
Now, when did you guys realize that you were going to be successful? Was when you got a big check, or was just a moment that you have, a revelation? Oh my God, we really made it at this point. Do you remember that very moment when you said, this is it?
Well, for me, the moment that I committed, I knew I was going to be successful no matter what. Because, from the moment that I was 6 years old, I committed to success. I had to go through a lot of problems and a lot of ups and downs, but I knew that moment that I was going to be successful, because I knew I had dreams, and I knew that nothing can stop me. People, they could take everything that I have right now, and I know that I could come back, because one thing that they can't take away from me is my heart, my knowledge, and my experience. So I just feel unstoppable. And I'll tell you, I'll share something with you. The last 6 years that it took us since we opened our company, our first one, the mortgage guy, it was a struggle. Like, I lived paycheck to paycheck. I was broke. Sometimes I didn't know how I was going to make it through for the following week. How am I going to pay these bills? Because yes, I had money. Yes, we had a good lifestyle, but all the money that we were making was going out, because we needed to pay employees, offices, expenses, and survive. And then when we made money, we would put it all into real estate. So we didn't have access to it, but we were building assets, and we build assets, and that kept us hungry. Like, that kept me grinding and hungry. I would wake up sometimes at 12:30 at midnight, and I couldn't sleep anymore. And I would get up and I would start thinking about ideas. Well, how can I be creative? And I didn't want to get her nervous. I didn't want to worry her. I didn't want to get her stressed out. So I handled all that pressure at 12:30 in the morning, and I was like, how am I going to figure this shit out? What am I going to do? Like, and I would get creative and come up with the money, and then we would survive one more day and one more day, up until the last 7 months. I feel like we made it. 7 months ago, we made it.
Just 7 months ago?
Yeah.
So
7 months ago was when we started making money in excess, and very little money was going out. And I was telling her, like, what the hell happened? It finally worked. After all these years.
So this is recent.
Recently, in the last 7 months, we've experienced an extreme level of success to me. Like, I this is private to us, but we want to share it here right now. After 6 years of me, I don't think she got to that point, but for 6 years, I was seriously battling heart attacks. There were times where I was going to collapse on the floor, but I didn't. There were times when I couldn't swallow my food. There were times when I couldn't breathe, but I fought it. And finally, after 6 years, it paid off.
So what's success for you? Your definition of success?
Changing the world and helping people, helping everybody be successful. When I make $200 billion, which is the vision, our company vision, I'm gonna use all of it to change the world, to help people get better. That's what drives me. I want to make my parents happy, and I want to make my daughters and my wife happy, so that when I die, when my body's not here, people could tell them, "Hey, your dad was the great Albert. He did this for the world. He improved it." That's what drives me. No, not exotic women, not exotic cars, and not money.
Well, those are a plus.
That comes with the territory.
Well, not the girls.
No, he can. I tell him he could have as many as he could afford. Just kidding.
So Albert, you mentioned 4 principles that you see as critical for success. Could you share?
Can I add one really quick thing?
Of course.
Regarding like making it, how people say making it. So when you're growing a business, like it's something that took me a little bit not long to understand, but I'm like, okay, well, if we're netting X amount of money, why do we have to hire 2 more people and then be netting half of that or whatnot, right? It's because you need the horsepower, and that I know we got through our mentors, that one of them told us you have to hire an army, right? And a lot of people want to just keep that money, but then you can't do more than what you're doing. So that was hard for me to understand, but we always talk about everything, and I might not agree with something, but then I hear him out and vice versa. And then we come to an agreement. Then we execute our plan, right? So now we have a lot of employees and we have a lot of salespeople. So that's what he means by now it's like, wow, right? It's like, so we just want to keep going. So that's why we keep hiring people.
So you have the right team in place. And now one of the difficult things when you are a founder, owner, is to learn how to delegate.
Yes.
Stuff.
That's hard for me. So hard.
So how do you find the right people so you are able to learn that important principle of delegating in an operation? Because you have to delegate. Maybe even hire people that is better than you in certain areas so they can take you to the next level, correct? Because you are not supposed to know everything about it.
Absolutely. And when you say they must be better than you, because if you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. And I think Albert could add to this because he gave me an example of if I'd rather have 25 employees and pay. Can you tell him about that?
Well, you got to think about it. My 4 principles, by the way, are sales, systems, training, and the most important one in today's world is marketing, in today's age. And I want to say that I mastered them. It's a work in progress because you always keep learning, and why I say that I mastered him is because those same principles that helped me build the mortgage guy together, we copied it because it worked, and we built Ambiance Realty, and now we did this. We applied the same 4 principles to driven enterprises, and same thing. And I believe that these 4 principles, anybody can apply it to any business, any industry, and it'll work. and I coach people that pay me a lot of money to coach them, and they're in all kinds of different industries, and these principles work for any industry: restaurant, construction, insurance, anything that you could think of. So when the question you have to ask yourself is, would you rather have 25 employees that you pay $100,000 each in salary, or would you rather have 50 employees that you pay $50,000 each? It's the same amount of money, but it's less or more people. Who do you want? And the answer is, you want 25 that you pay $100,000, that you pay more, because you're going to have 25 highly level people. And if you have 50, you might have to correct them. So you want to have powerful people. And we started when that all made sense. And then when I met Grant in Cancun, when I was making $300,000 and I was capped, he said, well, you don't have any employees. You don't have any, you have to build an army. So I had to go all the way to Cancun to meet Grant Cardone to know, like, you need an army. But I was scared because I hired a wrong assistant that used to get drunk during lunchtime. And she was really nice to me in the mornings. And then after lunch, she would tell me, like, shut up.
I'm like, okay,
and I would say, like, what? And she would say, like, yeah, shut up. You don't know what you're doing. And I'm like, and then finally somebody told me, well, she goes to next door and takes like 5 Jaeger bombs and then comes back. And that's why she has courage now. So I was paying her very little money. That was my mistake. So I remembered, you got to pay people good money to get good people. And once we started hiring, then that's a whole different conversation. But you need different departments. You need experts in their fields, in their department. So every department has to be an expert in that department. They have to own their roles.
Right.
So that's when I don't know if you read the book called Principles by Ray Dalio, but now we have different departments. I have a monitor in my office where I see the camera. I see every department. Every department has accountability. Every department, we have a company manual, which is the manual has every department, the roles from A to Z, start to finish. We have how-tos. Every time we have a problem, we address it. We add another page to our manual, company manual, and we're still working on a manual, but the manual tells you how to run your business. Anything that you need to figure out, it's in the manual. And if you don't have a company manual, which is part of your systems and procedures, your company's not going to grow. If you don't apply metrics, if you don't track all your stats, you're not going to grow. If you don't train people, you're not going to grow. Now, most importantly is sales, because if you don't have any sales, then might as well not even have a business. So it's all those ingredients, but the most important one right now, if you want to scale your business, is marketing. And that's why I got a Ferrari that made me a lot of money the first month. And then I said, oh, shit, this works. So we got another Ferrari. And then we just started marketing, and we learned about marketing. But we invested a lot of money into self-improvement. We paid a lot of money to experts to teach us so that we could learn and know how to do it.
So you didn't go to formal school? You didn't get a formal education, college?
No.
She dropped out.
I'm a college dropout, and I had a 1.8 GPA in high school.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, so you learn by yourself. You like to read, you hire mentors, you invest in yourself.
Yeah.
So you increase your intellectual capital. You invest in your, intellectual capital a lot of money.
Yeah. I'm an autodidact. That means a self-taught person.
Autodidacta in Spanish.
Autodidacta.
Right.
So I've read close to 1,000 books. I lost count, but I read close to 1,000 books. At one point, I was reading a book a week. And a lot of them were audiobooks. So I would listen to the book a week. But I would go through 10 crappy books to find one good book. And then I would find something really good from that book, and I would apply it. And I would get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. One day I came across Grant Cardone's audiobook, Sell to Survive, and I got hooked. And then I met him. And now Grant Cardone is my friend. Patrick Bet-David is my friend. Brad Lee is one of my best friends. He just texted me right now. And we always, I FaceTime with Grant Cardone. We text. Whenever I have a question, I'll call, I'll text Patrick Bet-David. As a matter of fact, we're going to go meet Patrick in 2 weeks. She just found out. And that's our life. Whenever there's time, when we have an opportunity to go get $1 million ideas or possibly $1 billion idea, We take off and we fly. If I have to fly tonight, I fly tonight. We